Choosing Home by ginnyrules27. Hey, are you free tonight? Akio whispered in Elle's ear after a month and a half after his little texting conversation with Ben, Chad, Mal and Amir. It had taken that long to A. finish getting the ring made, B. ask for permission, and C. tell his parents. Let's just say his mother had sat him down and grilled him for 2 hours about everything there was to know about Elle. And she had already met her. After the grilling, his father had reached out to his friend Ryder to enlist the help of some other reindeer for his plan to propose to Elle. Plus, his dad also called Aunt Elsa to ensure that the earth spirits of the enchanted forest wouldn't run rampant during his son's date. Aunt Elsa had given her word that the earth spirits would be on their best behaviour.
Well, I was, but I'm guessing I won't be,
Elle said, a teasing tone to her voice as she looked over at him as they lounged in the gardens.
Where are we going?
It's a surprise, Akio told her, but wear something nice and your bathing suit underneath. We'll be swimming, but that's all I'm telling you. Elle grinned. Despite her chair, she'd been gifted with the ability to swim by her grandfather and great-grandfather at her christening. So even though she couldn't walk, she could always swim. Plus, it took a load off her parents' minds every time she went to Cotillion. Elle still wasn't sure why it was always on a yacht, but it was.
Ooh, a surprise, Elle giggled. Now my interest is piqued for sure. How nice are we talking here? Like Ben's coronation nice or picnic nice?
Akio tilted his head as he considered the question. Based on what he was planning, he wanted to say coronation nice. But then again, they were going to be in the woods. The last thing he wanted was for Elle's good clothes to get ruined. I'd say picnic nice, he told Elle, trying to ignore the sense of nervousness forming in his stomach.
But that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to ruin your surprise by spoiling it too much. I'll pick you up at 7. Sounds like a plan, Elle said, returning the kiss Akio had given her and giving him a small smile.
Love you.
I love you too.
I'll see you in a couple of hours, Akio said as he got up. You want me to help you get back to the castle?
I'll ask Mum. Don't trouble yourself,
Elle told him. Akio gently kissed the top of her head before heading off. Elle smiled as she watched him walk off, before pulling out her cell phone.
Mum, can you come get me, please? I need to go through my wardrobe.
Of course, Elle. I'll be right there, Ariel said, and Elle could hear the smile in her voice. If Elle was more paranoid, she would have thought that her mother knew what Akio had planned. But her mother was always happy with her kids were.
Thank you.
Akio taking you out for a date? Ariel asked as she walked into the gardens a few moments later.
Yeah, he won't tell me where. Just that I should dress picnic level nice, Elle said with a grin, and to have a swimming suit on underneath. We're going bathing later. And to have a bathing suit on underneath.
We're going swimming later.
We're going swimming later. Right then, let's see what we have to work with clothing-wise,
Ariel said, gently pushing Elle up to the castle. The gardens were very beautiful, but unfortunately had a hill that made it a little difficult for Elle to get into them by herself.
Thanks, Mum,
Elle said. I wish I knew why he was being so secretive about this. I'm sure you'll find out soon, Ariel told her eldest daughter as they entered the castle and made their way to Elle's room. Now, what are you thinking of in terms of your outfit?
Well, he said picnic nice, so,
Elle said, making her way to her closet and looking through her clothes.
Maybe a nice sundress, since he said to have my swimming suit on underneath.
That sounds nice. Which one? Elle paused as she looked at her dresses. Her fingers paused over a blue dress, almost aquamarine in shading, as she looked it over. It was pretty, and seemed to fit the nice picnic qualifications Akio had given. Plus, it was short enough that the hem wouldn't get caught in her chair's wheels.
Mum, do I look better in green or blue?
Elle asked, her voice soft. Well, you look beautiful in any colour, honey, Ariel said gently, but if it's those 2 options, I'd say blue.
As my mother, you're kind of obligated to say that, Elle said with a giggle. But okay, this one it is.
I'm only telling you the truth, Elle, Ariel said, as a smile growing on her face, as she saw the dress Elle had selected. But that's a beautiful dress, and you'll look beautiful in it.
Thanks, Mum,
Elle said as she grabbed up her bathing suit as well. You're welcome, dear. You want some privacy while you change?
Elle shrugged. Up to you, Mum. I mean, you've seen it all before. You used to change me after all, and it's not like I'm shy about anything around you guys. Can you zip me up?
Of course, Ariel said as she went over to help. You want me to do your hair and makeup?
Yes, please,
Elle said with a soft smile.
I don't know what it is, but Akiyu seems almost eager for this date.
Ariel smiled. She knew the reason after all. Well, how long's it been since the last time you two went out?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I know it's been over a month,
Elle said,
though Emma said it's been the same with her and Amir, so maybe it's just a shadow thing.
Elle couldn't help but smile fondly at the thought. She loved how loyal Akio was to his friends, and she knew that when they started dating, that her guy's loyalty to Ben and even Amir was part of the package. So did Emma. Hence why she, Emma and Mal would joke that they had gained 3 boyfriends for the price of 1. Now, I would make it a bit more intricate, but I figure since you're going swimming, your hair's getting wet, and any fancy hairstyle would make it come out in 5 minutes anyway, Ariel said. Smiling, she tied Elle's hair up in a simple ponytail after brushing it out.
It's perfect, Mum, thank you,
Elle said as she admired herself in the mirror, once again congratulating herself for her decision to go back to her natural red hair. For a while she had gone brown, and then blonde. But there was no arguing the fact that red was her colour. You're amazing. It's nothing, honey. I'm glad to do it. Elle smiled, but then sighed. What about makeup?
If I'm swimming, it'll wash right off.
We could do a bit of eyeliner. If that comes off, it won't be too noticeable, Ariel said, thankful for the lessons her sister Alana had given her.
Okay.
Do you want me to do it, or do you want to?
Can you do it?
Elle asked. Her mum could get a better angle than she could. Of course, Ariel said, getting an eyeliner pencil from Elle's makeup kit. Elle smiled as Ariel began to help with the eyeliner. One perk of having mermaids for aunts. The eyeliner is always waterproof if needed. Gods, it's amazing how much you look like me, Elle, Ariel thought with a smile. It's almost like looking into a mirror at times. If the mirror showed you as a de-aged version of yourself. The only difference is that you've got your father's eyes, while your sister got mine. But other than that difference, it's clear you favoured my side of the gene pool. Ariel knew that Elle's life hadn't been the easiest, with girls messing with her chair and being unable to join in the fun as she grew up. It was why she was so thankful for her daughter's friends, like Emma and Jordan, and now Akio. Honestly, Akio was probably the best person Elle could have gotten for a boyfriend. He was always content to do things that Elle liked to do, even if that was just to spend hours in the garden, looking up at the clouds, holding her close. Which was why it was so easy to say yes when Akio had asked, his voice shaking in nerves and barely able to get the question out. But when he had managed to ask if he could propose to Elle, the conviction in his voice was what made Ariel know there was only one answer she could give him. She had thought the poor thing was going to collapse when he heard the yes. The poor boy must have been terrified to ask us. Thank God Eric managed to grab him before his knees hit the stone floor, Ariel thought. Half of her had been glad when a squealing Melody had dashed over and given Akio a bear hug. At least then he had had someone holding on to him should he fall again. The other half had been worried, just on the off chance Akio fell forward instead of back. Otherwise Melody would have gotten hurt, and Akio would have felt terrible.
Mum, do you think I'll be able to have kids someday?
Elle asked, her soft voice breaking into Ariel's thoughts. Ariel bit her lip. It's a possibility, Elle. But since you've got the divine lineage from my side, but... It was Elle's turn to bite her lip. Some hope was better than none. But it was just another reason why she wouldn't be that surprised when Akio broke up with her eventually. As heir to Arendelle, he would need kids of his own at some point. After all, a snowman couldn't be expected to run a kingdom, and he had no siblings. She would always treasure the moments she had with Akio, even if it would break her heart when it happened.
Hey, honey, no one ever said you can't have children,
Ariel said, gently, seeing the look on Elle's face.
After all, you've got movement in your lower muscles from your swimming. It's a slim chance, true, but it's not impossible. I know, Mum, but Akio deserves someone who can guarantee him an heir. He's the first in line for his kingdom, after all, and right now the only one after him is Olaf,
Elle said with a small sigh.
I guess I'll just enjoy the time with him while it lasts, because eventually he'll be someone else's.
Oh, sweetheart, Ariel said with a sad smile. Akio loves you too much to break up with you over something like that. Besides, as you kids say, it's not the 1400s. There are ways to have an heir even if you don't give him one yourself. So you don't have to worry about that. On top of that, you won't even be giving him an heir tomorrow. So don't think about it right now. Just enjoy your date.
Yes, Mum,
Elle said, giving her mum a small smile. Good, because you're all ready.
Great!
There was a soft knock on the door. Is our princess ready? Because there's someone come to call on her, Eric said with a smile.
I'm ready, Dad,
Elle said, returning the smile as she wheeled herself to the door. Eric couldn't help but feel a small lump in his throat as he looked at his eldest. When did she grow up so fast? You look beautiful, he said softly.
Thanks, Dad,
Elle said with a slight smile.
Mum did all the work, though.
I brushed your hair and put some eyeliner on you, honey. The beauty is all you, Ariel said, as they made their way to the front door. Elle couldn't help but give her parents a small smile that grew as she saw Akio standing in the hall, a small bouquet of flowers in his hand. Hi. Hey. You look beautiful, he said, his eyes soft as he kissed the top of her head.
Thanks, and he shouldn't have. They're beautiful, though, she said as she took the flowers.
Only the best for you, Akio told her.
Oh, stop it,
Elle teased. As my princess decrees, Akio teased her back. Elle chuckled as she handed the flowers to a grinning Melody.
What time would you like Elle to be back by, your highnesses?
Akio asked Ariel and Eric. Usual time? 11 p.m? Eric suggested, looking at Ariel.
Oh, we can go a bit later than that. She won't turn into a pumpkin if she gets home by midnight,
Ariel said with a small chuckle.
Okay, now I know there's something going on,
Elle said, shaking her head.
Missy, don't spoil it. You'll find out soon enough,
Akio told her before giving Eric and Ariel a small nod.
Are you ready to go? Elle said, 'cause I'm ready and eager to find out what this surprise is.
Have fun, you two, Ariel said with a smile.
I'm sure we will, Mum,
Elle said as the two of them headed out. Elle had a grin on her face throughout the entire car ride. She knew this route. Akio would often take her on a picnic to the enchanted forest edge, when he wanted it to just be the two of them. But even though she knew where they were going, nothing could prepare her for the sight in front of her.
Is this?
Yep.
How are we going to get?
Elle asked as she saw that there was no picnic on their usual spot. They didn't normally go too far in due to her chair. The last thing she wanted was to get caught on a tree root.
Not to worry, Your Highness. I've arranged for transportation,
Akio said with a grin before letting out a small whistle. Before Elle could blink, Sven and another reindeer, both adorned in wreaths of red roses, trotted out, pulling a sled.
Oh, Akio, you shouldn't have. Elle said with a small grin as the reindeer stopped in front of them. "Oh, Sven, don't you look so handsome? Is this your lady friend? Don't worry, I won't tell King Kristoff."
"I wanted to, and he won't tell, but I'm glad you think so too," Akio said with a chuckle, before helping her onto the sled. Sven bayed at her softly, snuffing her with his nose as she passed.
"Well, it's amazing," Elle said as she gave him a small smile. "And it's beautiful here. You've gone all out for our date, and you still haven't told me what the surprise is, you know."
"You'll find out after our swim," Akio teased as he drove the sled to the lake.
"You are such a tease,"
Elle chuckled as she looked at the stunning view around them. "You won't be saying that when this is over," Akio just said, chuckling to try to hide his nerves.
"Oh gods, he is breaking up with you,"
Elle thought as the realization broke into her brain.
"Giving you one last date before he lets you down gently. After all, like you told Mum, you need someone who can guarantee him an heir."
She bit her lip.
"Better enjoy this. It was nice while it lasted, but I should have known it wouldn't last forever. I wonder if Grandfather could turn me into a mermaid. I could live under the sea."
"Where?" Akio said, his soft voice breaking out of her thoughts, and caused her to gasp as she saw the sparkling lake and picnic set up there.
"It's beautiful!"
Elle gasped as Akio helped her out of the sled.
"Akio, this must have taken you days to set up."
"Nope, only a couple of hours, but I had some elves to help me," Akio told her.
"Why do I get the sense that elves is code for Ben and Amir?"
Elle asked. "Because you'd be right," Akio chuckled. "Swim or food first?"
"Swimming, if you're up for it."
"I brought you to a lake to swim," Akio teased, as they started to strip down to their swim things.
"You look nice, by the way,"
Elle said, realizing that she hadn't mentioned it.
"Oh,
thanks," Akio said. "So do you."
"You already said that, but thanks,"
Elle said, rolling herself to the edge of the lake before slipping into the lake. She took a shuddering breath as she felt the water against her skin. No matter how many times she went swimming, it was always startling to feel her legs stir, to feel almost active once the water touched her. Akio smiled, carefully folding his clothes as to not lose anything, and gave Sven a pat of thanks.
"Thanks for the help, bud. I really hope she says yes,"
he whispered before diving in after his girlfriend. Sven snorted as the two humans swam in the lake.
"Took you long enough,"
Elle teased as they surfaced.
"I almost thought you'd gotten lost or something on the way to the lake."
"Hey, not all of us are part mermaid," Akio teased back.
"Oh, shame. It's quite nice."
Elle chuckled as the two of them swam around each other. It was a great time. Just the two of them.
"As far as last dates go, this has to be one of the best,"
Elle thought, careful to not have her thoughts show on her face.
"I really hope whoever Akio winds up with has a good time with him."
As time passed, they found themselves settled on the land, eating some of the amazing spread with towels wrapped around them.
"What are you thinking about?"
Elle asked.
"How much fun I've had with you,"
Akio told her.
"I had fun too,"
Elle said with a soft smile, before sighing as she saw that Akio was fidgeting.
"You can say it."
"Say what?"
"Whatever's on your mind."
"I promise I won't get mad," Elle whispered. Akio smiled slightly before sighing. "Gods, I should have written this down. But no matter. Elle, I love you. I've loved you since that day we met in the library. All I know is that there is no one else I want to spend the rest of my life with. You are amazing. You see the best in everyone. Your smile could light up any room, and you've become one of my best friends as well as my girlfriend. And I don't ever want to lose that." He took a deep breath before retrieving the ring box and opening it to show her the silver band. aquamarine blue stones, with smaller aquamarine blue stones and diamonds, were weaved throughout, and the centre mermaid dove through them, diamonds on her tail. Elle, will you marry me? Elle stared at him in shock. The ring was beautiful, and she almost couldn't help but smile at the mermaid on it. It almost looked as if the mermaid was diving into the water. And then it hit her. He wasn't breaking up with her. He was proposing! Yes! Elle exclaimed after a moment of stunned silence. Wait, really? Akio asked, more than a little shocked. Yes! Elle nodded, happy tears coming into her eyes. Why wouldn't I say yes? Akio grinned and slid the ring on gently before connecting his lips to hers. Elle smiled into the kiss as she returned it. So you're not breaking up with me? Elle checked as they separated. What? No, of course not, Akio said, gently wiping her tears away. Why would you think that? Just with how I am, you deserve someone who can give you more certainty for the future, Elle whispered. Elle, you are a certainty, Akio told her, gently cupping her cheek with his hand. Akio, I might not be able to have kids. Elle, I'm not dating you for your ability to have kids, Elle. Would I like to have kids with you? Of course I would. But it's not a deal breaker. Elle couldn't help the soft smile that pulled at her lips. Clearly, since you're proposing and not breaking up with me. Of course. Do you like the ring, by the way? I was worried the mermaid was a bit corny. I love it. Actually, I think the mermaid is perfect. Is her hair red? It might be, Akio said softly. The original was white, but since I was having it custom made, I asked them to tweak it to make it look like you. Do you like it? If not, I can have it remade. Have a different hair colour. No! Okay, Akio grinned, and Elle kissed him once more. I love you. I love you too, Elle whispered. My fiancé. Akio had to smile as he heard that. He liked the sound of that new title. Note to self, thank Aunt Elsa for the picnic idea, and not Dad's idea of performing a rock ballad with a group of reindeer, he thought as he continued to enjoy the company of his fiancée. Oh yeah, he definitely liked the sound of that. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Oh, I frigging loved that, and oh my god, Elle. Oh, I just want to give the poor girl a cuddle. Thinking that, feeling that, going through that. Oh boy. But one thing I do like, the fact that Poseidon and Triton give her the ability to swim, but doesn't erase the fact that she's in a wheelchair. I can appreciate that because in fiction and fantasy, a lot of the time people use that magic to erase disability. But what Ginny does here is really tactful. I'm disabled myself, having autism and anxiety issues, but that's not a physical change. Elle's, it's very tactful. She still can't walk, but because she's part mermaid, they tap into that bit of her genetics and basically amplify the ability to swim. And I can really appreciate that. That's a very good way of doing it. And oh god, that is a lovely way to propose. I love the idea of a mermaid ring. I wouldn't want that myself as an engagement ring, but what can I say? I'm a sucker for fantasy. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have made this channel. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.